Die Arts ist hier, um über Diversität in der Wiener Kulturlandschaft zu sprechen. Mit Die Arts schauen wir genauer hin, um alle jene in Szene zu setzen, die sonst wenig vorkommen. Das D in Die Arts initiiert Dialog, baut Diskriminierungen ab und baut Brücken zwischen Künstlerinnen und etablierten Institutionen. Denn die Stadt, in der wir leben, ist divers, mehrsprachig und vielseitig. Und genau das soll sich auch im Kunst- und Kulturbetrieb widerspiegeln. Wir wollen die gesellschaftliche Vielfalt auf den Bühnen dieser Stadt erleben. Sie soll aus den Konzertsälen schallen, laut vom Marktplatz schreien und in den Museen sichtbar werden. Die Arts versteht Diversität als Prozess und Dialog. Wir zeigen auf, wer bisher strukturell ausgeschlossen wird und welche Gruppen bisher im öffentlichen Kulturleben dieser Stadt nicht vorkommen. Wir werden aber vor allem eins, gemeinsam darüber reden, wie sich das in Zukunft ändern lässt. Mit Diskussionsformaten, Workshops, einem Wissensarchiv und dem Aufbau einer Expertinnenplattform und mit künstlerischen Produktionen. Die Arts verbindet, hinterfragt, zeigt auf, beansprucht und setzt damit nachhaltige Veränderungen im Kulturbetrieb um. Die Arts startet im Juni 2021 in breiter Allianz und mit dir.
Deconstruct.
Diversity.
Discrimination. Critical.
Discourse.
Democracy.
Decentralize.
Dialogue.
Drama.
Depression.
Disillusioning.
Destabilizing.
Dangerous.
Disconnect.
Dreaming.
Detail.
Defect.
Design.
Dance.
Doors.
Daring.
The arts. The D in the arts stands for a critical concept of diversity, for discrimination sensitive and intersectional work, for dialogical concepts, for decentralized strategies, and above all, for building collective thinking spaces. My name is Zuzana Ernst, and I'm here with Sheri Avraham. We didn't hear you so well.
And Ivana Pilic. Hi.
The three of us are the co-founders and curators of the Arts, the project office for diversity and urban dialogue based in Vienna, Austria, and we're very happy to be here and share our practice and exchange.
Hello from my side, but what is the arts? The Art for Diversity and Urban Dialogue discourse project with the goal of a transformation of our local and towards a recognition of in this till you make it, we have already been since 2021 in order to specific points current voids and structures, and to push a conception of curation and services office with the arts, those who are not seen, to become an office, a real office, development of discriminatory cultural sector throughout of 2023. So
Sorry, but I can't hear you really well.
Really? And now?
Can everyone else
Maybe
hear? It's choppy. And it's a pity to not understand.
maybe it's because the
Maybe you can turn
share
off your
screen.
video. Yeah,
Excuse
maybe.
me?
Chris, can you hear? Chris, can you hear Sheri well? Or we all
Can
turn off a video?
anybody hear?
Yeah, we can all turn off our videos.
Let me see the slide.
Split.
But also, Lizzie wrote me that there is no screen in
Now?
Documenta.
And now?
There's no
How is
screen.
it?
It cuts you off every
without
second
you,
word.
it's better.
Yeah, every second word.
Screen, my tone is. So are we sharing a screen or him?
Try to screen, and we all turn off the video, and then the slide is visible.
Or maybe it's better to stop sharing the screen, huh?
I do this. So hello?
Hello?
Okay. So I stopped my video.
No, it's not working.
Or should we continue?
Maybe we continue without the screen, huh? It's okay.
Okay.
It's more important to hear Sheri.
So we're back.
Okay, but I also have a problem at the document. Es ist niemand vor Ort. Es ist nicht vor Ort, der Stream. Okay.
So hello you all.
Again.
So let's do it that we just a screen without sharing presentation, because now you.
No, it's not much better.
No.
Unfortunately. May try to before.
Maybe because it's obviously my internet connection is not that good, or
Enter. Come back in. And I will try to call someone.
Let's try it again.
To do the presentation, the folio.
No, it's doing it again.
I'm going to send it.
Nein, es ist nicht die Präsentation. Ich höre dich jetzt auch nicht gut. Hast du irgendwas hinten offen? Wahrscheinlich nicht, gell?
So, außer die Safari.
Ja, mach alles zu, was du nicht brauchst.
Yeah, but like if I PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, but it's okay to do it without the presentation. Es ist echt okay.
Open because of the browser of the stream.
Ich glaube auch, dass dein Internet mit dem ein Problem hat. Aber red mal weiter, ob es besser ist.
Sheri,
Schatz. Na, es unterbricht
try.
es.
As well now?
Ja, red weiter.
And I'm gonna try to share it without doing a slide, able to see as well what's happening. Okay. Now, still?
Yeah, still a little bit, but just keep talking.
I'm gonna keep on talking and try to maybe log into. I don't have. I'm gonna disconnect. I do not know. Maybe that would help. Okay. Now is it?
Rosa?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Are we continuing? Or now we have a nice tone chat from the. So I'm a bit.
I mean, we can do it. I'm not reaching anyone, and I'm not sure who's really watching. But then, if we continue, then I would say maybe we start from you, Sheri, because it was not really.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't understand before.
So we are in the right slide, right? The art from the beginning. I hope you're enjoying it. It is an artistic discourse project jointly working towards a transcultural landscape and toward plural society. Fake it till you make it. We are and acting as an office 21 in order to out missing and black blank creation of such a conception with combined for arts. We refer to all seen with the aim that centralize the development sensitive concepts for the culture out Austria as three.
It is a project that started 2 years ago, bottom up, with the aim to build alliances and create a sustainable and politically relevant networks. It builds on a lot of existing knowledge, experiences, and struggles in the arts regarding discrimination, critical work, as well as reaches out and connects to the young generations of artists and activists and cultural workers. The arts aims to connect as many people as possible to build structures of solidarity in order to be able to have a greater impact together. Our work is an outcome of the urge to transform dominant and homogeneous structures in the culture sector.
Spring 2021, already before, our work had started much earlier. Part of our network have been working different working groups. Groups were dealing with concrete events, the structure, and very important on lobbying cultural policy. The long-term goal is to establish the project starting as I 23.
As we know, the cultural sector is far from being as diverse as society, so our focus is on the claim to do justice to the diversity of the population. One common tool to connect and become visible is our discourse series, which took and takes place in cooperation with established institutions to intervene in the status quo, question privileges, and build bridges between artists and institutions.
So one of the red threads of the project, and how it also now has had a continuation the last 2 years, is a discourse series which we started with a kickoff conference, a 2-day conference with the title Radical Deconstruction in June 2021. Each time the discourse events were placed in established cultural institutions. In this case, it was in Kulturhaus Brotfabrik, where it was the first and very important gathering of the engaged artists and activists, as well as institutions, associations, who we tried to invite very early on into the process that were already part before, and new ones entered. There was a series of work cafe discussions, workshops, project presentations, and it was a very important base for the work of the Arts Office. The next event happened. Sheri, can you go to the next slide? There's an overview of all the events. The next one happened in October 2021 with the title In Dialogue, and it took place at 2 different locations. One is a very centralized one in Kunsthalle Vienna, and the other one in Soho in Ottakring, which is kind of at the outskirts, the Soho Studios, where it was with 2 foci. One was politics of resisting voices, in order to amplify voices from the margins, the workshops, and walk through the city, a decolonized walk through the city, and the politics of listening with workshop of how to be an ally, and as well a discussion on the topic of affirmative action as a tool to create a more just environment in institutions. And then we continued in February this year in one of the most traditional conservative institutions in Vienna, in the Musikverein, with the title Dissonant Counterpoint, where the topic was the democratization of music and musical practice, so really questioning the dominant music discourse and concepts such as word music, and what is defined as classical music, in order to question and break the Western perspective. It was an exchanging on the challenges of diversity in classical music institutions. And then we moved forward with an event called Detransformation this March in the Belvedere Museum, also a prestigious or established institution in the city center, where an event took place in 2 parts. First, the World Cafe, where it was really hands-on discussions, and then a keynote and discussion in the representative spaces of the museum, with the main focus on the topic of diversity and decision-making positions in culture institutions. So really questioning how the staff and who is in the institutions making decisions and how this affects the program and who is actually visiting. And on the discussion in the podium, where all the different voices ranging from the activist positions to institutional decision makers, experts in transformation of institutional transformation processes, as well as the political decision makers. And at the end of this year, in November, it's a very important step and the first step outside of Vienna to go into the regions of Austria. And it will happen in Salzburg, where now already since many months a team is growing, a D network is growing in Salzburg and curating the event there with the inputs of the arts. And our current production, which will culminate at the end of this month, is called 01. It's an artistic production in the public space to also put discourse into action, to test collaborative methods, to look closely at the working conditions, and to manifest glimpses into the different future.
So I'm going to share a little bit about, you can hear me well. It's to not only discuss art and culture, but as well to put tools into test up with a project named, it's kind of playing with the 0 and 1 in order to insist on the gaps on the way of living and thinking. 01 project and performative installation pose an innovative and sustainable for artists and cultural workers. Create a futuristic, dystopic common existence. This project manifesting itself in Vienna. And as well, I speak on various social media programs with the development of our and Spotify and YouTube with what is our specific points. So 0 points is all about, so how do we do that? Important to put our desires to a soft, imaginative workflow and working structure that we feel. One, a weekly has met constantly on a weekly basis, time of 6 months. We had filming, editing, sound recording. On that together, the world of 0 regulatory enable us not only to, but allow us to find solutions as well tests for a more fluid analysis. So the performance installation is right now, as you see the video testing themselves in the Instagram account. I invite you to hop on after we finish our accounts to discover the building. You will discover a non-binary play with the word district, but you would see it world itself. The world itself is a possible future. We are how the world would look, feel, or be. Our fantasies, our wishes, and communication know, how would that be or feel? Like wrote in their book, the lack of imagination and the lack of play us to the day after the revolution. We have achieved earthly perfection. We wanted to take the utopian self evidence, and then it sees always around the corner from history. So zero ein of patience and perspective are changing, sometimes very faster, but only in constant intention and able to decide where at.
Thank you. There is also a beautiful website where it's a lot of information, and if not everyone could hear, you can check it out because it's really worth going deep into it. So the arts is about.
No,
Pardon me?
It's still broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. Sorry.
So the arts is about creating visibility, as mentioned before, through the discourse, but also through social media, and especially now, also what Sheri described, the art production 01 has a very important thread through the digital realm, that it's engaging and it's going beyond sharing information, but also creating characters and engaging in different ways. And also what we have been building up from the very beginning is the Arts website and an expert platform. There we have started a knowledge archive on the Arts website where expertise and information on diversity topics is collected. And very importantly, we're gathering as many people as possible onto the Arts platform, the expert platform, which is meant to be a helpful tool for culture institutions and cultural policymakers, through which a more diverse staffing of juries or events, or really job openings can be achieved as accessible as possible. And the idea behind it is to make different different actors, especially the marginalized, visible, who deal with the topic. The goal is to continuously highlight diverse marginalized arts and culture practitioners and their voices in a way that promotes their visibility and interaction in the scene. In this way, we will foster dialogue about critical diversity perspectives directly at the source.
Yeah, and parallel to our discourse series and the expert platform and 01, we have been working together with many institutions and associations on the structure and on the profile of the project office during these 2 years. The D Network is an association of many actors and works in a broad alliance for more diversity in the cultural sector. 48 initiatives and institutions came together to work on the following topics in working groups: on the profile, on the structure, and also on the bylaws of the association. Sheri, is it okay if I do the next slide, because we cannot hear you? Or do you want to try it again? And if it's not working, then I go on?
I think it's not necessarily working. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah. No, it's not working. I'm so sorry. We come up with 3 categories of membership. You can see it on the slide. The activist members from the core of the D Network. It is important to strengthen these members as they have essential expertise in discrimination critical practice, which is progressive in its approach. And the second circle consists of the institutional members who define it as their discrimination critical mission to establish diversity sensitive practice in Viennese art and culture sector. And their experience also includes like questions of structural inequalities. And the third group is made up of those established institutions that are an essential part of Vienna's much visited capital of art and culture, and to which special significance is attributed. Membership fees are therefore sledgered. The D network strives for a practice of solidarity, and this means transparency about giving resources. In order to open up the cultural scene in Vienna, it is necessary to work on different levels. Many established institutions are now aware of this need and have begun to engage in this joint process, for which the network forms the basis and a space for learning and unlearning.
So all members bring different knowledge, expertise, and experience to the D network and engage in a common process. The goal is to pool the different expertise and understand that not everyone has the same starting conditions or resources, which can mean very different speed in learning and unlearning, and in formulating and achieving individual goals. With the recognition that individual efforts and changes have a long-term positive impact on the entire collective, a collaborative process emerges to experiment, unlearn, and benefit from the different expertise. And we have drafted a letter of intent that each member who is joining the network is signing, and by that also it's a first step of commitment, and we would like to share here with you the first page basically.
Because it's written on the screen, I can connect it together. Engage in collaborative process, learning and unlearning.
To be open and mindful of internal differences.
To share resources in solidarity.
To live a diversity critical practices.
To strengthen the activist core.
And to challenge structural inequalities at different levels.
Members develop strategies and rules and actions
for a transformation of their institutions from the inside out.
So that the reality of our society with regards to its heterogeneity is represented in Viennese art and culture. So this is what we have prepared and wanted to share with you. And I'm sure if there is a possibility to get into a dialogue with the people who were listening.
In between, we are understanding what is the concept hearing. No. I thought that during a possible interaction, we can ask each other questions. For example, maybe you can share. What does it mean, fake it till you make?
Zuzana,
Fake it till you make it?
Sheri asked, yeah. Yes.
You asked me?
Yeah.
Well, fake it till you make it somehow
Speak.
I think it's a very important strategy that it was more intuitive from the beginning to call ourselves a project office. It's also inspired by the project office Diversity and Arts Culture in Berlin, they already working a while longer and established by the Senate with funding. And in our case, we really saw this kind of missing structure in Vienna and in Austria, and intentionally called it from the beginning project office in order to call to this missing structure. And it's this 2-year process of, in the meanwhile of the discourse series, to try to reach out and connect as many institutions, initiative, individual as possible, that have, like many have been working on this on years, many are entering the activist process fresh, and there is an exchange of expertise. But we see now after the 2 years that it's really also a meaningful structure, that it has a potential to help and to support and to connect the struggles in order to have a louder voice than to make the changes happen. Also towards lobbying, to political decision makers, and to get all the institutions on board that where the change is the most necessary.
Do you want to say something about fake it till you make it? See that one can hear me, because
it's a lot making for the fake it. It's a lot of work, and building up broad alliances really mean a lot of connection work, and we didn't expect it to be like that. No, sorry. It's really difficult for me right now to be so spontaneous.
Yeah, it was not as needed that there were so many people that we no.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think if I understood you right, it's really like there is an idea, there is an urge and a need to do something, but then of course we all got overwhelmed by the amount, because it's a lot of mediation work, it's a lot of conversation, it's a lot of and also to draft this letter of intent. It was a very intensive process throughout the last months and years, even to understand what kind of structure is the most meaningful for very, very different institutions and initiatives.
Exactly.
Yes, and I don't have this answer. No. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I see that now I can see it is exactly why we started, because in order to understand the need and to adapt in the world to the Viennese or to the Austrians, have the flexibility of an artistic project, like some kind of office, and that was all with the artistic project. The way that we are, since we presented ourselves in the public from so many different corners, that I to get respond and to get engaged, passion, as if where we were thinking that it's only in our, there is something like that is lacking. The last 2 years were Austria is a necessity for such of knowledge and work and different space develop concepts.
Yeah, and I think also like that we call it an office is also to call for the need of this long-term structure. No, it's like it's an artistic project. It is a like still project, but it's necessary for a sustainable structure that stays beyond the lifetime of a project, but that has that all the expertise is collected, that it's flexible enough to accommodate the different needs and like still like where a lot of learning is necessary. And we can see people in the space. Wow, it feels good to have.
There are people.
Have an image. We don't just talk to the screen. Is it possible to have sound from the hall?
No, it's not possible.
Maybe I can speak about one can hear me better now about the social media. That for us it was of how ended kind of public space, a younger generation that is mainly out on the media channels. If there is no on the can hear media channels, if there is no.
Wow, there's an echo.
That's totally not working. Huh? Hi. That's totally not working. Huh? Hi.
Hello. Do you want to? Hello. Hello. Maybe you ask us.
Okay, I have a question.
Each
5 years
other.
from now,
So
would you love ideally to stay with the arts?
Question coming up.
I don't understand.
Your vision for the arts in 5 years.
The vision for the arts in 5 years.
The vision for the arts.
The vision
This
for
is
the arts.
easy. We really want to have a project office and 500,000 euro a year to do our work. So this is simple.
It would be as well to have a big or fixed office where developed, and we know that the work would not be done in 5 years time. Having 5 years established office, target even law and different offers and for the art called as well to the artists and the association. The vision is to have one beautiful draft to be realized and thank you for the question. Hope you could hear me. Susan, I think you can if they didn't hear me, maybe.
Like, working as a collective of 3, like, what is your assumption?
Maybe.
Working as a collective of 3, like,
I didn't hear it. It's really difficult.
Action, something.
I also didn't understand.
We are
try again.
They're like the
sound
video
is
is
off.
muted. Yeah. Collect the question and then ask it more, but or we cannot hear now.
Nothing.
And Suza is gone? Later.
So this is really not working. But Lizzie, maybe you can write us an SMS. Lizzie, maybe you can write us an SMS.
Oh, you can talk directly, please. They just gave me the phone to talk to you directly. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes.
Perfect.
They just gave me the phone to talk to you directly. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
So the question is, working as a collective of 3 people, like, what is your experience? What is the resume of it? Working as a collective of 3 people, like, what is your experience? What is the resume of it?
Ivana?
Yeah, I think it is a, hey? I think it's a great privilege to have the different competencies in the team, and every one of us has some different qualities, and I think this is really important. But sometimes it's also hard to work as a collective without an office too, because we have to discuss structure all the time, or even find time to meet each other because we are working on different places too. So, but I really love it, and I think that it's really important for a project like the arts to also have this really different 3 persons in our team. But what do you think, Susa and Sheri?
Do you want to go, Sheri?
I don't mind.
And sometimes it's difficult to understand Sheri. No, it was only because of our technical. No.
Coming from it is for me, it would not be the same if by myself or if one of us would do it. But the constellation of us 3 is definitely had the only way to create whatever we create will result. It is even a test of what we are asking for. 3 of us coming from different places, different lives, and this actually, and the diversity, and obviously important to have this kind of a diversity, and it's a bottom-up project. Difficulties, and people that comes from a background have more possibility. The people that coming from a different class, economical background, we are experiencing. We are as well as all the institutions that we work in. So multi-phase team, it is creating a multi-phase art and it's and necessity. And I think we all come as bottom-up projects. We had bottom-up projects. Some of us are, or were part of institutions. So crucial to have a correct office for diversity. And in beautiful moments, like in any kind of project.
Yeah, I can really only underline what you both said, and I think it's super important to have this broader perspectives. And I must say, for me, it has been like one of the biggest learning processes ever. Like really to go bottom up, to build something. I mean, it's not something new, but it is a new structure that we created through solo association, and that is still in the growing. And I think also what's so important is to have multiple people at the core, is that each one of us also attaches to more people. And from the beginning, the idea is also that it's not only the three of us, but that it grows really into a large structure that a lot of people are part of. And already there are many people part of, and many are also here in the space in the Documenta Halle, and have been part of the curation of the discourse series, part of thinking about the structure and the policy, part of of this collaborative thinking space, and lobbying and supporting each other. So from you throw a stone and then the waves are spreading. So yeah, but I think it's a very great combination between the three of us, plus this a large group of people that is connected as well.
Yeah, because I really need Sheri's energy, as well as Susan's calmer ways. So they are really both totally important for me, and I think also for the project. And these are also differences that I really like.
Like maybe just to add to both of that, I was saying that we are founder of the project, and each one kind of creating one event. There is an invitation to so it's kind of, it's not always this net, though it gives us as well a space and come back to the core learnings that we're working on the different themes, and so it's very exciting. I've been going through, because it within the core group, or the voices, and so many perspectives, and so many that we would not have, because each one's strength and history.
And now through the 01 project, you have also put together a beautiful group of people that is like, its own universe, and it's growing from there as well. And it's through this, like, it's amazing to have this opportunity of an artistic production to then really all that has been talked about in the discourse to actually put it really into practice and try out. And yeah. And also at the beginning, you wanted to elaborate more on the social media. I don't know if maybe that would be also interesting on the digital
but from
aspect
the beginning for us.
Within.
Yeah, sorry.
I was done.
For us, it was from the beginning very about what it means to diversity in graphic, so Bildpolitik, or the politic of imagination. Reproduction of violence is very easy to see. For us, it was as well as developing was not only which language do we use, and we aim to connect two different groups. If we are young, established artists, and to kind of with older generation people that are working from 20 Viennese, and but in Austria, to young artists and activists and culture. It was probably social media, because there where people and much of their social things combining with the politic of image, expanding the public space, and we had a half a year of together with the production company that and Matas were creating beautiful videos that you saw in the imagination of how we can represent what we diversity and intersectionality. So, Instagram account, and from there, artistic project. There is two different social media of the characters. As I said, the project documentation. So we have a patient called 01. This is a project of the characters, and each character a whole different on the world we wish to. We have a person that asks questions, the disappearing of insects in our life. What happens to population? There is a person that existing of the second most polluted fashion industry. How do we deal with that? Many more. So in our social media, go to the difference, and we have as well a beautiful.
But I think we have also learned that there are really a lot of beautiful things, and a lot of connections, and a lot of community works, and a lot of solidarity. But I think I want to point out that we've also learned that we all need more breaks, because this fight against structures of discriminations are really exhausting, and also the building up of structures of solidarities are also exhausting. And so we have to think about breaks, and also about boundaries maybe. And I think maybe the documenta is the best place to discuss such things right now. Also, we are talking a lot about these things at the arts too, because they are important.
There is a sentence: "Shoemaker go barefoot."
Goat.
Shoemakers go barefoot. Yeah.
So we like to talk about art production structures. We like to sustainable workflow. We have to admit that all of us, it's just too hard a decision where to participate and where not to participate. Questions are on the table. If to get a job, or what kind of in the jury for a different job, and things seem to be drastically important, like participating in but not all of those jobs are financially rewarding. Culture that cannot pay the rent. It is, and that's how I meant before. Like we all coming from a little bit activist. There, we need to between being an activist and working to build a sustainable whole, totally different aspect. And I think there to learn and then to train decision making and creating our life more sustainable. But it's rewarding. You cannot say definitely rewarding. Maybe we can close with a round of, for you, what would be one moment of the last 1.5 years to share with the people that are watching us? Your sweet moment. I can maybe say for that you think, or please, Susan.
As you like. No, but I maybe I don't have one moment, but I for sure it's these moments at the events themselves after there has been so much work done, and like on one hand on the events of the discourse series, but also the network meetings where it's what we saw is that people come again, and there is really a community built, and people start to get to each other that are working in the field since years but haven't had an exchange or an opportunity to have contact. And there is this feeling of solidarity, shared struggle, and I think those are the moments where it's not only theories and that we think, okay, this is necessary, but when you feel like, it's working and it is meaningful for a lot of people. And yeah, so I think this is also the main reason why I'm really getting, like, for myself also a lot of energy from the process. That, like, whatever however exhausting the process is, you get a lot from seeing that people are connecting, and that it is a structure that, and also that it feels now that it's not going to end with the 2-year project, but that there is a necessity, there is an understanding that it's necessary, and that it will continue in some shape or form. You're muted, Evie, I think.
I love a lot of things about the arts, but maybe the most beautiful or connecting thing I had this last week was working with Mjasa Kreit. We've been working together on a text for our next event, Deconnect, in Salzburg, for a performance. And as often, it wasn't just working on the text and theory, but it was really working on us and sharing pain and sharing vulnerability and sharing shame. And so this is also a really important part for me in the arts, that we are working together, also not only for the institutions, not only for the cultural policy, but really for us and on us. And Susan and I did some shame sharing and heartbeat lessons in the last week. So It was really intense and lovely and loving, and so I'm really happy about our network of care. This is the arts for me. And Sheri, for you, 01.
I would, yeah, I'm gonna talk about the arts in general when this moment having and thinking and rewrite video, the relaunch video, the one that you saw, and putting it off to the world in our different channels, seeing it in Woodfabrik, very exciting moment, kind of and debating and not being caught on the and then the video with music and visuals and the and reading Ezra. That was a moment of like, well, we are really doing it.
It's not just fake it. Here we are. Yeah. I loved it too. And the video is amazing. Matthias and you really did a great job, and Ezra.
Totally. Yes.
Should
So
we
you wanna
maybe come to a
ask each other?
close?
Yeah.
I don't
We
know if
mentioned the next project. So 30th September, we're gonna have the world of 01. It's worth to travel to. We're gonna have stage design and a lot of more magical moments.
Performance just started at Documenta, so they're not hearing us anymore.
What started?
A performance.
Okay.
So maybe it's time to say goodbye.
To each other.
To disconnect.
So in the spirit of disconnect,
Oh,
this is dissonant counterpoint. Okay.
thank you, Susan.
Thanks for
Thank you, Ivy.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheri.
you.
thank you,
Susan.
Sheri.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evie. And thanks for everyone who was actually listening. I think it was streamed. And yeah, follow us on the Arts, Instagram and Facebook, and the websites 01 and the Arts. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.